Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hoopers Lab podcast. This is the podcast where we talk all things basketball. I'm your host, Brody, joined here by my co host, Riley.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. How did you enjoy your All Star weekend?
It was, All-Star weekend. It was fine. I um Not on the topic of All-Star to start.
Okay.
Victor Wembanyama is him. Um and
It was last
I guess
episode.
and I know, I guess he is the future of the NBA. He's got the view poll is just crazy apparently. Career high so far on YouTube views.
Oh, yeah.
W
Uh,
Wemby. Um
Thank you. Thank you, King.
for real. And he was one assist off of a 5x5 yesterday. That man's crazy.
He was actually?
One assist.
That's crazy.
I checked there like 8 minutes left in the fourth. I was like, this man needs to get this assist, and he didn't. Slack him
He should have been hunting more.
for
Yeah.
real.
Against the Kings? They lost too. 5 by 5 almost, and you lose.
For real. Come
Get
on,
this man
Wemby,
some
be
help.
better. Be better.
Yeah. So it's been a while. It's been a week, but All Star All Star Weekend happened, and things happened. People talked about it. I don't really think that there's too much to add that hasn't been said on other shows,
I
but I
disagree.
just think that. Hmm?
I disagree.
Okay, talk to me. Talk to me.
I think I have a different perspective than most people with All Star. Um,
Okay. Okay.
and they kind of dipped into it a little bit on the Hoop Collective podcast. That's Brian Windhorst.
Okay. I don't listen to them,
They're
so
solid,
let me
but
know. Put me on. Put me on.
I think we have a certain view of the All Star game and just All Star Weekend in general, and I don't know if that we should have that view of it anymore. Like I think we're taking the All Star game for something that it shouldn't need to be. Like for example, with football, they literally just play flag football for their All Star game. And
Yeah.
obviously, healthy competition is nice, but at some point, at the end of the day, they're literally just playing. You're taking the best players in the world, um, and playing an exhibition game that doesn't matter. Like, what do you really expect to happen? Like, they're the best players in the world for a reason. They're gonna score, and obviously, we want some defense played, but I feel like our expectations of All Star Weekend have kind of been skewed by what it's been like in the past. And with the way
Yeah.
player empowerment is these days, I don't see a way of getting back to that. Which is why I'm all for dipping more into the not even just fun factor side of it, but incentive side of it. Like I mentioned
Mm.
to you the other day, the idea of just like player matchup type things. Like obviously they're both in the West, so this wouldn't happen. But like Kawhi, for example, his goal is to hold Steph under 30 points, and Steph's goal is to get over 30 points or something like that, and then you get like an extra because they obviously said for whatever reason that they
Hmm.
want more money as well. Um, you know, you throw an extra 250, I don't know, whatever amount would satisfy an NBA player onto that
Yeah.
if they they surpass that uh, incentive. And yeah, I don't know. I just think they could lean into it more like that. The only thing is that's I think is kind of screwy about giving them more money is that they're literally playing for charities right now. So like,
Yeah. It's like fuck you, charity.
give me
We
my
want
money
money.
for real.
Yeah, when they're like multimillionaires. Yeah, it kind of sucks that that's the point where we're at where we need to just throw money at these players for them to do anything.
Yeah,
But back to what you were saying about All Star, there is no All Star game in sports that's like good. There's no
yeah,
good template. Did I spike?
you'd heavily spiked.
Ah, fuck. We're not doing it quick enough. But yeah, there's no All Star game where it's good, you know?
Exactly. And that's why I
Um,
think if I'd be okay with them leaning more into the wacky side of it, I guess, if you want to say it like that.
yeah,
And I think it's not exactly the same as the dunk contest, but I think our view on the dunk contest is similar as well. Like where we're expecting more than we actually get. Because like everyone's all, it feels like the only reason that the dunk contest isn't as hype as it once was is because there's um, not as many all stars interested in it. You know, Jalen Brown pulled off some terrific dunks. We all know that. But I just think like because even back in the day, not back in the day, but even like the 2016 dunk contest, it's not like Zach Levine and Aaron Gordon were like superstars at the time,
they
and
weren't. No, they were
they were just
young
they
role
were
players.
exactly they were just super young, up and possibly up and coming young guys,
Yeah,
and I think that's more of the mold that we need in the All Star game. Like, cool, yeah, having John Morant in the All Star game at this point would be cool, whatever. But I feel like now that you know, because Aaron Gordon and the Zach Levine types stopped doing the dunk contest because of the shitty scoring, which is obviously still a thing. But
yes.
now it just feels like for the younger up and coming generation, players like Ant, Shaden Sharp, it feels like it's just like the cool thing in the NBA now to just not participate in the dunk contest.
It started with LeBron.
It did, bro. It's always
It did.
it always
It
comes back
did.
to my glorious King LeBron.
Apparently, there was a year where they were gonna have Vince, T Mac, Kobe, and LeBron in the dunk contest, and then there was gonna be $1 million incentive.
That's
But
crazy.
then it ended up not falling through, which we got robbed.
For real.
um, but yeah, it's also like for the dunk contest, how many more dunks can we see that haven't been done before?
And that was what I was gonna say
You
as
know?
well. Like we've especially since the dunk contest has gone as far back as it has, like
Yeah,
there's literally only you can only be so creative with dunks these days. And like Jalen Brown heavily dipped into the
the gimmick.
yeah, like the gimmicks side of the dunk contest, which is cool. But his obviously
I
his
don't know if cool's the word, but
obviously his dunks didn't back up his gimmicks. But like it's the same thing with
no.
like there's only so many ideas in general you can get. Like Cole Anthony a few years ago coming out in the Tims. Like what the hell?
Bro, the NFT dunk as well.
Yeah,
Like that
no,
dunk contest was awful.
bro, it's kind of crazy that we went from jumping over Kias to jumping over guys, man.
No, no, no. It was the hood of a Kia. And I still don't understand why Kai was sitting in a chair, bro.
They could have had him standing. He'd be basically the same
It's
height,
this.
bro.
I don't get it. What a. I mean, it did give us. That's actually one of my like least favorite dunks ever.
I
That's
gen
gotta be one of the worst
I
dunks.
genuinely don't understand like why he was there. Like he was just there recording, but I literally never even seen the
Views.
video of him recording. So like, or was it like he was he on Twitch or some shit? Like I literally don't get
Maybe he
it.
was on Instagram Live. I
Yeah,
have no
like
idea.
I literally didn't even see
Um,
that clip of him.
yeah,
Not like
I
it would be
think of
good.
that.
It would just be fucking Jalen
Oh,
Brown's nutsack in your face anyway. So like,
aerial shot of his nut. That's what I love to see. Um, but yeah, I think that we need to buy more into the fun factor when it comes to All Star Game. And it's also not for us as much. It's for like the players to go and just like have fun and let loose. It's for the fans in the host city
and
that it's in.
it is a break at the end of
Um,
the day too. So
yeah, exactly. Like you're not trying to do all this like sweating and not sweating, but like you know, fuck sweat.
like,
You don't
yeah,
want to do all this like work on your. It's a break.
yeah,
It's a
like I
vacation.
don't need Kawhi to come out and be 2014 Kawhi locking up LeBron, but if the fourth quarter comes around, it's a you know 150 to 150, and then you finally decide to lock in. Like, cool. That'll at least give us something entertaining to watch. But my honestly, my new favorite clip is is Adam Silver announcing them as the announcing Team East as the winner. Well, you scored 200 points. Bro was not happy.
the most points ever. He's not happy. Um, but yeah, I think that like maybe like a tournament, like a one-on-one tournament, if the players would do that.
Yeah, like
Um,
the exactly. Like there are still minor changes to be made, but yeah, if you can dip more into something that would be, because like a full 4 quarter game, like it just feels so long too. Like I don't know.
I wouldn't mind like a bunch of shorter games with shorter teams,
Yeah,
like a
like
three on
like similar
three,
to what they did with even just the
all
Rising Stars.
the skills.
Yeah, or
Or
that too.
yeah,
Yeah,
like the Rising Stars or the Skills Challenge, how it's like, it's more like smaller team based, and you just have like a couple games go up to 21, you have a tournament, and then you can maybe even have a cash prize for the winning team.
yeah, bro. The three
Yeah,
point contest has been carrying All Star Weekend lately.
yeah, it honestly has. It's been the best. I like that for a couple years now.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah. Is there anything else when it comes to All Star Game that you want to discuss?
Yeah, not really. Like there's more that can be said, but
Yeah.
it's already been noted by every NBA fan on the planet.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, for this episode, we will be doing some end of season predictions. So I don't know how many games there are left, but I think we're like two-thirds done with the season, about like a little bit over
I think
half,
there's like
maybe.
20. I think there's like 25 to 30 left.
Okay, so yeah, like two-thirds done of the season, around there.
Yeah.
And there's still lots of time for some things to change. I probably spiked again. Uh, that's great. There's some time for things to change. And we're just going to go through some predictions for what we think is going to happen for the rest of the regular season. Uh, do you want to start with one, or do you want me to start with one?
I can start. Um, the first thing I put, because I didn't research into it, but I basically said depending on when OG and Julius Randle actually end up coming back, the Knicks may continue to fall in the standings, which sucks because I really liked what the Knicks were doing prior to all of their front court getting injured. But yeah, if they don't come
Hmm.
back sooner rather than later, I could see them slipping a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. That's fair. I mean, they beat Philly yesterday, but obviously Philly has their own injury problems,
I,
and
I
we
put that
haven't heard anything
I
about
put that
Embiid.
I put that down as well too. Will continue to fall, so that's the one thing the
Yeah,
Knicks have going for them.
I don't have anything with the Knicks, but I have something for the Sixers. I have the Sixers struggling because they really just have Maxi and nothing else.
They got Maxi and Maxi.
And on top of that, I have Maxi, struggling a bit, having more pressure on him,
I was
more
I that's a
defenses.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good take. It'll be significantly easier to lock in on Maxi now that Embiid's gone. I could 100% see him slowing down quite significantly, to be honest as well. Not to say Maxi's not like a great scorer or anything, but
he just had 35 the other night, so it kind of like goes against what I'm saying here. But
yeah, I mean at the
yeah,
end of the day, like Joel's the most dominant player in the league right now. So like it with him not being there, it's a lot easier to lock in on Maxi.
yeah. I also have Kobe White going off and kind of going above Maxi in the MIP race.
Jalen Johnson,
I wish, man. I wish. But
that'll
it's
be
probably going to
disappointing.
be, I think it'll be Kobe White.
Probably. He's got like the biggest surprise jump,
Points per
I'd say.
game jump.
That too. Yeah, I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of people were like a lot of hoop people were predicting a Jalen Johnson jump, which we saw, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. So that's what I have. And then I also want to look at remaining strength of schedule because I think that that's interesting. So the Knicks are like in the middle when it comes to strength of schedule.
Yeah, I think it seemed like I. So here's a
Philly's high,
yeah
so they're gonna have a tougher schedule than the
yeah.
Knicks.
Here's another thing I put. I put Cleveland 1 seed, IMOG. Um, it
My prediction wasn't so
it
bad.
kind of goes
Because
against it
that
because I'm pretty sure they have like a pretty difficult strength of schedule. Because like that streak they went
we're
on.
middle.
Okay, that's fair. Because like, but that streak they went on, not streak. Well, yeah, like when they were on fire, they were literally just playing like a bunch of bottom feeding teams, like over and
Yeah.
over again.
I mean,
So it's a little
the
skewed.
Celtics have the second easiest.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I could see
that
the
doesn't help.
Celtics kind of
But
coasting, but if the Cavs, I don't
yeah.
like. There's a reason I put it as a question with the eyes emoji. It'd be cool
Yeah, yeah.
to see. You know, Spider's MVP case could grow a little more. Cleveland jumps to the one seed, but yeah, they definitely have some climbing to do.
If the Celtics are the number one seed with Tatum and he's not in MVP talks, I don't think Spida's gonna be in MVP talks if they're the number one
Nah,
seed.
bro,
But you can keep riding that
that's
man.
completely different, bro. The
No,
Celtics
it's the
literally
same.
have five All-Stars on their team.
Nope, nope.
Spider was
the
carrying Jared Allen.
Cavs have three.
Bro, no,
Jared Allen,
Spider
Davis
was
Miller.
carrying Jared Allen and three white NPC shooters.
Yeah. No, I'm just messing with you. Yeah. I mean, I'd want the Cavs to be the top seed because it would go because that's who I predicted as the number one seed
That's
prior to the
that's the
season. So
that's the only reason.
if I look like a genius at the start of the season, I was like, oh boy,
Yeah, that looked like
that was
a
not a
terrible
good take.
prediction at the start of the season.
I'm just playing the long game. I'm just playing the long game. You know? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, let's go to the bottom of the standings. I have the Pistons finishing better than the Wizards.
Yes, bro. What did I put? I said Pistons will not be the worst team in basketball.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think the Hornets have been playing decent lately, so maybe not them, but I think they'll beat out decent for the Hornets standards, I should say. Um, but I think the Pistons will beat out the Wizards and the Spurs, in terms of seeding.
Mm,
And if the because the Hornets were playing really bad at one point, um,
yeah.
I thought they were going to continue to slip, but I mean the Pistons and Wizards are just so bad that they're still where they are. But
Yeah.
I could
The
see them
Spurs
potentially.
could finish above.
Yeah,
I think the Wizards for sure will finish worst.
no, the Wizards are fucking ass, bro.
They're so bad. Bagley, keep getting me rebounds though. Keep going off. Give this man more minutes. Um, yeah. Um, Imagine like going. What was the losing streak that they went on? 28.
Yeah,
Was that the final number?
yep, tied
Something like that.
tied the
Yeah.
all-time record.
And then Masai, he was just like,
I
they
got
must have paid
I
him,
got two
man.
boys.
Yeah, exactly.
No, what's embarrassing is that the Wizards are gonna end up worse than that team. Like, come on, man.
Exactly. Like, imagine finishing worse than the team that just went on a 28 game losing streak.
No, it's
Like,
actually crazy.
that's embarrassing. And then Jordan Poole imagine Jordan Poole being benched, bro. It's actually crazy.
Jordan Poole benched on a fucking G League roster. He's actually so bad. It's crazy that he makes like 120 mil
A
over
max
the
contract, pretty
next
much.
4 years. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, he's got 100 M's. That is a highway robbery. And it's just crazy. Like, I was watching, I think it was a 2K23 video of Kenny's. Just like it was in my recommended. I was like, oh, okay, I'll just like rewatch an old Kenny video. Jordan Poole was an 87
I
because
know
he like
the
with
the
progression.
glazing was crazy back in the day, bro.
He was great in Sim. Like he would like an 87-ish.
No, it pissed me off too. It was like this guy's not that good.
No, yeah, it was unwarranted at the time, but it's still just like crazy how the turntables. But yeah, what was the starting lineup that the Wizards had?
Denny. I don't know why I started with their like small forward. Tyus Jones. I think it was Tyus. Jordan.
Like who did he come off the?
Oh, like now that he's benched, maybe Bilal? No, no shot. They're running him at like the two. Mm, oh,
Oh, two. Oh,
oh, oh,
okay.
oh, oh, bro. Bro's big
Oh,
spike
oh,
it
oh.
again. Oh, are we back?
This is shitty. Bro, I need to. It's your fault. This is Shaw's problem, man.
Bro needs an Ethernet cable.
No, this is you. You work for the internet company that's screwing me over.
I got my work computer on. I'll pull up your account right now.
Should just do it live. And we could see after. Some extra hours, some overtime. Give you that overtime. Um, yeah, there's not much else to say about the Wizards and Pistons.
Yeah, I put down Bucks get it together also as a question. I feel like it's if they don't get it together, it's kind of embarrassing on Doc's part because you have a fantastic roster. Obviously, defensively, there's personnel issues, but they've been playing better defensively as a team now that he's been there. And hopefully the offense gets back to kind of where it was. Dame was struggling, but he looked really good during All-Star weekend, so hopefully kind of bounces back to the Dame we expect. But yeah,
Yeah, I have the exact same points. I think the Bucks pick it back up, even though that might be a hot kind of take. But I think that it's hard to join mid-season and be a coach. The one thing that concerns me though is Doc in his press conference basically just like seemed like he didn't want to coach. Like, he did not seem. He was like, "Well, I took the money," that kind of
bro, just,
attitude.
bro was just
It seemed
chasing his
like.
bag.
Yeah, I mean, good for him, but like, he's just like he's been in the game too long, man.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Yeah.
2008 carrying that man's legacy.
Yeah, for real. Top 15 coach of all time when they did the top coaches. So, you wouldn't think it based on like how he carries himself in like interviews when he like talks about his like past failures.
Yeah,
And just like when you look at his past failures, it's like this man's a top 15 coach.
yeah, no, I
Um,
agree with that.
Yeah, but he joined the team mid-season. He also joined them on a road trip, like right before All-Star break. So obviously that's not ideal. Um,
Yeah,
I do think that with more time to figure things out and the break, I think that that'll help.
yeah, I agree. After the All-Star weekend, if they don't start to pick it up like quickly, I think it'll be kind of telling on how the rest of their season will go.
Yeah. And it's really gonna be hard to say. They have the second hardest schedule left, so they really have to pick it up because they have the second hardest schedule left.
Yeah,
So we'll see how that goes. Um, Speaking of hard schedules, the hardest schedule left for this regular season is the Phoenix Suns. And I have them falling off a bit. Not like a lot,
yeah.
but I think there's
What do
some,
you see
yeah.
as them falling off?
So, like, I don't know. When teams win, that means other teams have to lose. So, like, I have other teams in the West
Winning.
that I think are going to rise.
Nah, yep.
But then, you got to like balance it out. And since they do have the hardest schedule left in the NBA, and since um, they've been bad in the fourth quarter, which
They're
is just
they're
weird.
like Pistons level of bad, and that's basically the only reason the Pistons are as bad as they are is they are literally disgustingly bad at closing out games.
Yeah, yeah. And then they're also like, there's injury problems that could arise at any time that could just like, you know, some things up. Um,
Can you hear
yeah,
my work computer right now?
I don't think so. Is
Like
it like really
it's like
loud?
a vacuum. It's like
Race car. Um, I mean, the Suns are the seventh seed right now because they were just like they weren't. They just lost to the Mavericks, so
yeah,
the
they
Mavericks
were.
jumped them.
Oh, they're seventh seed. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because no, because they were fifth seed, and the
Yeah.
Pels and Mavs both won yesterday, and they
Hmm.
lost. So yeah, I guess it. That's just how close. Like,
It'll be a tight
yeah,
race.
that's just how close that middle of the pack race is. It's literally like the first four. So Minnesota, Denver, OKC, and LA, and then it's the second four of like Phoenix, Dallas, New Orleans, and Sacramento, and then
Mm,
it's the Lakers and Warriors for play-in.
yeah. So I have the Suns finishing like around 7, I think. Um, like basically where they are now, but I don't think they're gonna get like, I don't think they're gonna jump the Mavericks. The Pelicans are looking good. We'll see about the Kings. I'm still like question mark on the
The Kings
Kings.
have been very questionable for me. Um, yeah, speaking of the Mavs, I have them jumping as well after their acquisitions. I could see them
Yeah,
finishing as the fifth seed.
they're on a 7 game streak.
Depending on honestly depending on how the Pelicans end off the season. Like I wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans finish as the sixth seed and Dallas was the fifth seed. Um, but yeah, I'm really hoping that Dallas does at least climb a little bit in the standings because I think Luka deserves to be in it legitimately in the MVP race.
Yeah,
Because like I
yeah,
feel
for
like
sure.
there's not really a clear now that Joel's out. I feel like there's not exactly a clear cut one, and I know it's been like Jonas, not Jonas, Yo,
Valanciunas.
Jokic and Jokic and Shea are obviously like the NBA's top one and two. Um, maybe it's just my bona fide being a Shea hater, but that's not making
Certified.
him my one. But like it still feels like um, Jokic is still, and the Nuggets in general are still just super coasting. So like it doesn't feel like he's really locked in, which is fine. Because he still might fucking win the MVP anyways, even though he's barely trying. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think Shea has a really good case just with how good they are, and obviously he's gonna stuff the stat sheet every night. But yeah, Luka's been having a fantastic season, and if the Mavs can get better in the standings, I could see him having a more legitimate case.
Yeah. They're on a roll right now. I think that we've been waiting for a while for Luca to kind of be in the top of MVP talks. And I think that if they continue to play like this, he definitely should be.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're looking really nice with their new acquisitions. If Kyrie stays healthy, that's a big thing as well for this end of the season. Um, just because he provides so much for them as well.
yeah, he's missed quite a bit of time this year, and it's like going under the radar because he's not causing like drama, but as he
Hmm.
usually is, but he's just missed a fair amount of time, which like I guess it's Kyrie.
He
So
is an
like
injury prone guy. I
yeah,
think that that's kind of. I think that his like off court problems that we've seen has kind of overshadowed how injury prone he's been since even like the Celtics.
even before that, I feel
Um,
like like I don't think it was
and the
as bad in
Cavs.
Cleveland, but like I feel like he would have a fair amount of like knick-knack injuries, you know?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. You were talking about MVP talks. I have an MVP prediction for my end of season prediction. I predict that the Thunder finish first in the West and Shea makes a serious MVP push. He has MVP moments towards the end of the season and he steals the award in a last second race with
Okay,
Jokic.
that's not a bad
Um,
take. I think that's a good take.
yeah, I think when I'm looking at the standings, I have a prediction I'll get into later with the Timberwolves falling off a little bit.
Hey,
Not like a lot,
you know what?
but I
Finish your thought.
okay, okay. I think that the Thunder, like, it's between the Timberwolves, the Thunder, the Clippers, and the Nuggets. Um, I think that I just like out of those teams, I think the Thunder will finish first. I think that they're the hungriest for wanting to finish first, and I just think that I don't know. I just think they'll finish first in the league, or not in the league, but in the West.
Yeah,
Um, and then if they finish first in the West, I think that that will be on the back of Shea. I think Shea will have some MVP moments towards the end of the season because that's another thing you need when you are in a serious MVP race is those moments.
yep, I agree.
And I think the end of the season is kind of where that happens just because obviously there's recency bias when it comes to voting. Like, um, you're going to remember what happened the most recent. So if Shea has some crazy games, some crazy game winners, or some crazy moments, and the Thunder finishes the first seed, I think he can easily win that award.
Yep,
So,
I agree with you on that. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
mhm.
Yeah, I you mentioned the Timberwolves. I have a similar.
Yeah, yeah,
I think the Timberwolves will slip as well. I don't think I see them slipping all the way down to like that the fifth seed race, but I could see them
no,
being
no,
at the bottom of the top pack. So the bottom of the top four, which is still good, especially compared to where they were last year. But that could be a tough matchup if you're, playing the 4 or 5 seed. And I just think
yeah,
obviously the defense has been real, but it's just their offense in the half court is just so meh at times, and I think that's the problem with having a superstar shooting guard that doesn't also have the combo guard skill set. Like as much as I like Mike Conley and he's a good table setter for everyone, get everyone involved. Um, Down the stretch, you're gonna give the ball to Ant, and I don't know if you like Ant taking a shot, whether it's contested or not. At the end of the day, you'll live with it. But I think in terms of actually um, his decision making down the stretch um, is also questionable. So yeah,
yeah. And I think that that's a skill that a guy like Devin Booker has really developed a lot.
one hundred
Like
percent.
he's a guy that has more of a combo guard skill set, whereas Ant is more of a scoring wing. Booker is a guy that can, make the right plays and kind of is able to give up the ball in those situations.
Yeah,
And that's just not a skill that Ant has right now. Even like I'd say Donovan Mitchell is better than Ant with that for sure.
100%. No,
Um,
Donovan Mitchell has 100% improved on that throughout his career. I wouldn't say he's on the level of D Book because I think Booker's an
yeah, yeah,
incredibly underrated playmaker in general. But
hmm
yeah, even Donovan Mitchell's decision making, on top of him being a fantastic clutch player in general. But yeah, his decision making has 100%, and playmaking in general has 100% improved a lot.
yeah. So maybe Ant can kind of hopefully look at that trajectory and kind of work to improve on those things like Donovan Mitchell did, because Donovan Mitchell kind of is in that similar mold that Spida or that Ant was coming into the league. When it comes to just like that scoring guard, and then he can hopefully develop his all around game when it comes to that.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it's just the offense. Like, yeah, the defense is real, but if they go on like a shooting, uh, like if they go on a streak where they can't hit a jump shot and they just like go on a poor shooting streak, then this team can really struggle. I think,
yeah,
um, and I think that the defense has carried them this much that it kind of will balance out a little bit. Yeah, I don't know.
I agree. I could see them slipping a bit, just with how close the race is as well. Um, the Nuggets kind of like I think that go heading into All Star break, it was like super close, like a game or two splitting all four of them. But I think they went on a nice little like the Timberwolves went on a nice little streak right at the end of the season, and the Thunder and Clippers and Nuggets all kind of the Nuggets went on like a 3 game losing streak, but I think the other teams as well kind of just mellowed a little bit heading into All Star. So it gave the Timberwolves a little bit of cushion coming out of All Star break, but I still see them. I still wouldn't be surprised if they ended up slipping a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. Um, yeah, there's so I had this prediction before last night. I think last night kind of killed this prediction for me, but I had the Nets making a bit of a resurge.
Nah, see, you're
Um,
tweaking.
they just lost to the Raptors though, so I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
Damn.
But my reasoning was, I think that the new coach, like the new coach effect is a real thing where like the team does play better immediately after you fire your coach and hire a new one. And I just thought that maybe it would you know help motivate this team a bit more, and that they would kind of make a push for that play in. I don't think that it happens anymore just because they lost to the Raptors, so I don't really
Bro's a Raptors
know how I
hater.
feel about that.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But you can't lose to a team like that.
The My issue is as well is that they want to win. Um,
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
and like I guess to some extent you have to, because like you don't have your pick anyways, so like there's no reason not to go and compete every night. But they're just not good, and I hate that they're so obsessed with this vision of building around Mikal Bridges. He's not.
Did I send you that thing?
What was it?
That in the off se- there was a report that in the off season they want to build
Yes,
around
they want to
like
retool or whatever
they
they
want to
said.
retool around.
It's so stupid. Like I love Mikal Bridges. He's not a number one guy. I don't even think on a
No,
championship team. I don't even think I want him as my number two guy. And that's not even to like discredit him, but he's just as a role player, he's a he's fantastic at that. He's an elite three-point shooter. Obviously, when he's defending an elite defender, I just don't understand their obsession with thinking that he's the guy. Like he can put up 23. I don't know what he's actually averaging, but he can put up
22,
yeah, he
but
can put
yeah,
up 22 in empty stats on a team that can't beat the Raptors. But like at the end of the day, like
yeah,
I don't know. I don't want to say
yeah.
he's getting overrated, but I think he's getting a little overrated. Not even. I think the even
I don't want to say he's getting overrated, but he's getting overrated.
I don't even think it's as oh, fuck. I don't even think it's as bad with NBA fans as it used to be. It literally feels like just who's the Nets GM? Sean Marks. Feels like
Yeah,
blood is tweaking at this point.
yeah. Their moves have been questionable.
Like they could, you know how much draft capital they could have built at this deadline if they had sold their
Yeah,
guys. All those picks
or even
that
yeah,
they don't have literally doesn't matter because you got four in the KD trade. You could probably have flipped McHale for another three or four.
yeah,
Get one
exactly.
for Finney Smith, maybe one for Royce O'Neal, couple seconds maybe, whatever. Um,
Yeah, they could have turned the four Kevin Durant picks into 8 or 9 first
but
round
yeah,
picks.
instead they think Mikal Bridges is Michael Jordan or something. So
Yeah, which he's close. No. um, but yeah, it's just been confusing. I think that they're just trying so hard not to go down the path that they went down with the KG and Paul Pierce trade
yeah,
that they're screwing themselves up by having that fear of failing
yeah,
so
I
much that they're trying to hold on to the littlest amount of hope and the littlest amount of talent and just ride with it.
yeah, I agree. And yeah, I don't think it's gonna in the long run. I don't think it's gonna be like incredibly detrimental, but I think it's just elongating their rebuild process.
Yeah, for sure. They're just delaying the inevitable, really,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
or what should be the inevitables. Uh, yeah, they're taking a page out of the Bulls book. No rebuilds. I have two more predictions. One of them is dealing with the Los Angeles Lakers. Um,
okay,
so when it comes to the Lakers, they are the 9 seed right now, and I see them trending upwards just because Darvin Ham finally decided to use his starting five that got them to the conference finals last year. Um, it was a game like right before the All Star break where he ran that starting lineup was like 6-0. He started them for like 6 games, and that's when they went on their win streak. Which, like, obviously, that's the lineup that got you to the conference finals. Why did it take so long?
there's a reason Lakers
Um,
fans hate Darvin Ham.
yeah, honestly, like, how do you see success in something and then you change it up and then you take so long to go back to the thing that was giving you success?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I don't know what his problem was with it, but yeah, it seems like um, for the most part, Lakers fans wanted him gone. Like there's definitely I've seen a lot of allegations of him being the worst coach in the league, but I don't think allegations was the right word for that at all. But
whatever.
yeah, if he can start to at
We could
least
title this video "Darvin Ham
Darvin
Allegations."
have allegations. Um, no, but yeah, if he can start to at least be a semi-competent coach, I think the problem is that the Lakers. they're so far behind. Like they're the Warriors and Lakers are definitely a separate tier from the Kings and all of them. At least it feels like it. Um, and like I see, like I agree. I think the Lakers, both the Lakers and the Warriors, will start to get it together, but they just have like a long way to climb still. And I don't think I
There's still
see.
lots of games
Yeah,
left.
and but the problem is
I could
I
see them
just
surpassing the Kings.
I maybe, but I yeah. Other than that, like I don't know. Like I don't see the Kings, Mavericks, Suns, and Pelicans all like playing super poorly to the point where the Lakers can get much higher than even 9. Like I don't know if they could. I don't even know if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
bunny that.
No, it is a tough race right now in the West. There's just so many good teams at that top. Um, and then, but you look at last year, the Lakers went on a huge streak. They really started to ramp it up. So I can see them kind of doing a little bit of that. Obviously, the team changed from Russell Westbrook to, the version of the Lakers we kind of see now. But I think that they're going to try harder in the second half, and I think that this is kind of like so they were going up with the play in, and then there was that moment where they're down. And I think that for the rest of the season, they're going to be up again.
Yeah,
Whether that continues into the playoffs, we'll see. But
the Lakers are just such
it,
like an intriguing team, man. Because like, why have they been struggling as much as they have been in general? Like
with two All NBA
they made
players,
it to the conference finals last year. Anthony Davis is playing more. LeBron is still playing obviously at a phenomenal level, and his imaginary 28 uh, minutes per game threshold never actually became a
I
thing.
forgot
So,
about that.
so he's still been playing a heavy amount, and he's been playing at a great level. They have all the same role players from their championship team, and I just don't understand why they struggled so much to start the year off. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Were they just like not locked in? Like, I don't even know. And
Yeah,
I'm
Austin Reeves hangover from Team USA.
I'm glad that as questionable as he has been at times, I'm glad Palinka didn't like jump the gun on anything and split the roster up because I think you how well they were last year and just how like I think this is a solidly built roster. I think they could use more three-point shooting, but there's not a whole lot of options. So I'm okay with them just riding out the roster that they have right now.
Yeah, the market's bad, and it was bad at the deadline, so I didn't mind them not making any moves and kind of being that desperate because that's kind of the Lakers thing,
Yeah,
has been being desperate. Um, so yeah, so I don't mind that they kind of stayed pat. But yeah, it's just crazy. They have two All NBA players. This is basically the same team that went to the conference finals. This is close to the same team that made it to the finals and won the championship. But they just like all the pieces are there, but it just I don't know what it is. It maybe is coaching.
it just feels like
Um,
the it just feels like the Lakers cycle. Like struggle out the gate, have all the drama around you at around All Star break, trade deadline, and then finish out the season strong. Beat Steph Curry in the play-in again. Apparently, maybe LeBron has to see the rim on the right this time instead of the one in the middle.
what a comment, man. I've seen three rooms.
He's
Shut for the middle
he's
one.
such a capper, bro. It's actually crazy.
LeBron's just so funny. Like the stuff of like him reading books. Or have you seen that one clip where that guy like says a quote? He's like, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite quote.
Yeah,
That's my favorite saying. I say that all the time."
he was like talking about the book he was reading, and he was just like going off the back. Like he just be talking, man. He's so like
And he's
huh?
whenever he's reading a book, he's on the first page.
No, for
Like,
yeah, no, for real. He's so like
like the pictures of him.
he's so unintentionally funny, man.
He is. He is. He's the goat just for that.
For
Just
real.
for like comedy. He's like the comedy goat. Do you know how many LeBron
Oh, what is what your headphones just die or some shit? Oh, oh, what is going on?
That was weird. Can you hear me okay?
Well, the audio sounds different, but I can hear you. It's fine.
Okay, well, sorry. I don't know what happened. Uh, yeah, let's move on
LeBron
to my
equals
last prediction.
LeCapper.
LeBron equals funny. Funny man. I have the Warriors climbing up the standings and having a second half turnaround.
Yeah,
Even though we were just talking about, it's going to be hard for to jump in the standings, I think that they have looked really good, and I think that they'll continue to kind of gel.
I categorized in the Lakers and Warriors together. I agree. I think they'll also
Hmm.
continue to play strong the way they have been. I think Steve Kerr's finally decided to do some coaching. I think he's really figured it out with Draymond at the five and starting come bucket with Wiggins. Um, and uh, you know, taking away Clay's minutes when it's needed because obviously Podzemski AirPods has been good this year. So yeah, think
It's been great.
I think the Warriors are finally making they finally have a good balance of the old and the new, which is something they always struggled with during the Wiseman era.
Yeah, yeah. I think that they're finally turning it around when it comes to the young players and finally figuring out, what position to put these players in. And, it's been working. I think that, obviously Steph Curry's still a top player in the league. And, he has some help now. And there's a spark to this team that there wasn't before.
Yeah,
And I think that they just really need to turn it around, and I think that they will turn it around. I'm not sure what their strength of schedule looks like, but it doesn't matter. Uh,
yeah,
they are. It's towards. They have one of the easier schedules too.
yeah, yeah. I could see
I
them
forgot to
having a
mention that
good
with
end
the
of the year.
Thunder as well.
Oh
The
yeah, yeah,
Thunder have the easiest schedule out of the top four, which is another thing that I thought of when making my predictions.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, Lakers do have a harder schedule, but I do think that uh, they're a really good team. They can do it. And the Kings have a pretty hard schedule, and they've just been very inconsistent. So I can see them kind of, being jumped by a Warriors or Lakers team.
Yeah.
But
No, I can agree with that.
yeah, I don't think I have much else. Is there
I got,
anything?
I
Oh
got.
yeah, my Brooklyn prediction too. I thought new coach, and also they have one of the easiest schedules, so I was like,
Okay, that's fair.
perfect. Um, that was another factor as well, and the new coach thing, I really thought was gonna. I mean, it's only been one game, so like maybe they still have time to turn it around and make a push for the play-in, but I just can't really see it happening anymore.
I agree.
Yeah, there was
I
there was
got,
that little bit of hope I had.
I got one more prediction. And I guess it's more of an off-season
Okay,
prediction, but I put,
that's not what this is.
I have Trey Young,
Go
I
for it.
have
Go
Trey
for it.
Young requests out. The Hawks are just like so incredibly mid. Um, and if he doesn't, which he seems like a pretty chill guy. Like I don't know, he seems content.
I don't know if he would.
That's my thing. I don't know if he just seems like a chill person, but consistently getting disrespected in terms of All Star, always being named a fucking injury replacement. But
Yeah.
because they're still like, I think a lot of people expected them to be a lot better than what they are, like floating around um top of the play-in to like the sixth seed area, and obviously
Yeah. Well, they've always been mid,
they
but
haven't
now
been
they're
that.
bad.
Yeah, no, they've been mid. Now they're just ass, and like I don't
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like if he doesn't request out, I 100% think they would just try to retool around Trey Young. But as much as I love Trey Young and he's a stat sheet stuffer, he feels similar to Harden in the fact that he is like an offense and he is an engine to an offense. But I'm starting, like me personally, I'm starting to question if I 100% want him as my first guy. And I don't really know the answer to that yet because I don't know how well he would be as the number two guy next to someone like, I don't know, the LeBron on the Lakers, you know? Um,
Yeah.
it's just a weird thing that the Hawks going on right now. Like obviously they're gonna want to be loyal to their guy and keep trying it with him, but it just feels like they've exhausted so much with the Trey Young era already, and they've been the only thing they have to show from it is not necessarily a fluky conference finals run, but um, that feels like so long ago at this point, and it's just like
It is.
since then they've done nothing. So I don't know.
Yeah. It would have to be a really unselfish number one in order for like it to work with Trey Young and another superstar. And I just don't know who that would be and what situation that would be.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm interested to see like a team with Trey Young that's different, a more like structured team, him going to a new situation, because I think right now with the Hawks, he's too comfortable,
yeah,
you know. I think that, he came into the league on this team and he was able to do whatever the heck he wanted. And it's kind of continued from there. And it's kind of been that attachment between him and management where they're so closely tethered together that, maybe he does need a different treatment and, a new management that didn't draft him and that doesn't view him as this savior of Atlanta, where it's like, you're just one of the guys.
yeah,
You need to prove to us that we can win with you.
yeah. No,
And
I agree.
yeah, I just don't know. I just can't see it happening because I don't think he's the type of guy that would request a trade.
Yeah,
But I also don't see the Hawks trading him. So I could definitely see it as a situation where they just like ride it out, where they just retool around Trey Young again in the offseason and give it another shot. But I just can't really see either side wanting to end this relationship.
it's Bradley Beal 2.0.
Honestly, yeah.
Who else was that
Um,
during that? Oh, Dame. Like where they just like were so mid, but they just like did
yeah,
not want to get traded from their team. Such a weird like loyalty.
yeah. Honestly, um, I yeah, I don't know. I can see the Hawks trading him more than I see him wanting out, but then again, I can't really see either. So
Yeah,
we'll
if the
see.
Hawks were to make trades in the offseason, I 100% would see them trying to move on from DeJounte Murray, maybe even Capella. I don't know, because I think Capella is a really good fit next to Trey Young. Like if I were to, like I think if I were to move on from DeJounte, I'd rather move on, or if I were to stick with DeJounte, I'd rather move on from Trey and Capella and buy in on the Jalen Johnson Oneka front court. But if I were to go with Trey Young, I think obviously Capella's older, but I think I'd rather prefer
Hmm.
moving on from DeJounte and Oneka if I were to stick with Trey.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can agree with that. And then also just like I love internet.
uh,
I didn't really have anything else to say. I've said all I need to say on that.
yeah,
On the Hawks, really,
Trey Young is Trey Young.
for better or worse. Yeah, and then it's also like he was the start of their rebuild as well, and they've been like
No, John Collins was.
semi-relevant. Okay, no, Collins was like the 20th pick.
Was that the same draft? There's no way that was the same draft though. I think Collins
No,
was
it
the year
wasn't the same
before.
draft, but Collins was before. But Collins was like the 20th
Yeah,
overall pick.
yeah, he was later in the draft. He was hooping.
Yeah, at the start of his career, he looked really good. He was that three and rim run. He was like the pick and pop, pick and roll big, defensive potential.
What's crazy
He
is
looked really
that
good.
I feel like a Kevin Herter would be like the perfect fit next to Trey Young right now, but obviously he's gone now.
Yeah, Red Velvet. He was going off in the playoffs.
Yeah, I just think they like
He was
don't
the Clay to the Curry.
like they tried a lot of ideas and none of them actually fit how you think they would have fit on paper. Like DeAndre Hunter, idea was gonna be a 3 and D. You know, you need that next to Trey Young, who's obviously an amazing defender. Um, and it's just like he's been cool, but he's never really been anything. And obviously we had that one season from John Collins as well, where he was looking or not season, but the play in the playoff run, he was actually looking legit on defense, and then just never again. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like the fit needs to be perfect, and if it can look good on paper, but I think it's not always gonna come out that way with a Trey Young led team.
Yeah, the idea of DeAndre Hunter's good, but he's just ass. So it's like
Damn, that's some disrespect.
it's. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, dude, but um, yeah, I don't know. Like he's not a like they kind of expected him to be more of like what we're seeing of OG,
I
and he's
agree.
nowhere near that.
Yeah,
Um,
in neither facet really. Like he's a solid defender, nowhere near OG level. He's a solid, you know, shooter scorer, but OG's an elite 3-point shooter, elite in the 3 and D aspect of it. So yeah,
yeah, um, yeah, that's enough Hawks talk.
for real, no one wants to talk about this below mid team.
That's our new podcast name, Hawks Talk.
Hawks talk. There's got to be a podcast called
There's
Hawks
got to
talk.
be a podcast called Hawks Talk. It's too good. Okay, I'll see. Hawks
I
Talk.
feel
If
like
there's not, I'm
like
gonna take it.
any NBA team probably has some kind of name like that.
There's a website called Hawks Talk, but it's for the Chicago Blackhawks. So Hawks Talk podcast. Oh, it's for a football team.
The Hawks.
Hawks Talk. Okay,
Oh, I might
there's an
know.
Instagram
Yeah, I know.
page. Hmm?
An Instagram page for Hawks Talk.
Yeah, there's a Atlanta Hawks Instagram page called Hawks Talk.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Twitter
There's a
account called
couple.
there's a Twitter account called Pro Pels Talk as well. So I feel like a lot of teams have like some kind of account like that, or like uh
Yeah, the
podcast.
Hawks Talk just flows
I
so
was gonna say
well.
Hawks Talk's kind of clean.
Yeah, that's why there's a million of them when I googled it. I thought I was original, but I guess not. Yeah. Is there anything else before we end this episode?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything.
Yeah. I think we're good. We'll see what the second half, not the second half, but like what the rest of the season holds, and we'll see. I'm excited for the playoffs.
Damn,
I'm ex-
still like 2 months away.
like a month and a half.
I guess so. Yeah.
Uh, And then, March Madness is coming up. We'll have to do we're great college basketball insiders, so we'll have to do
Elite.
some NCAA talk. Yeah,
We should do a
we're very knowledgeable. We've been watching a lot.
we should do a live bracket.
I was thinking of that, like idiots do
Don't
March
disrespect me
Madness
like that.
bracket. Well, it's just because like it's better if you're an idiot when it comes to predicting
That's true.
college basketball.
That's true. Yeah.
Like the less you know, I feel like it's the
We're
better.
picking all 16 seed upsets.
Yeah, honestly, and then it happens. We're like, oh my god,
The only bracket left in the world.
these guys.
Do you think
That'd
anybody's
be great
actually ever done
publicity.
that? Where they just like made an
No,
all underdogs bracket and got lucky? Obviously not
there's
all
no way.
underdogs, but
Yeah, no way. You couldn't get all lucky. There's definitely been like some people that have taken like a 16 seed just as like a joke,
yeah.
or just as like yeah, like Kenny when he did his March Madness thing I guess this was a while ago now, when Loyola Chicago when they went far,
Yeah.
he was just like no one expected it, but he was
Chicago.
just like, they're yeah, Illinois,
I
yeah,
think I
Sister Jean.
what was it last year? I think there was a 215 upset that I predicted. Not predicted, but I went with a pick on it.
Yeah, I can't even remember last year
I
to be
know.
honest.
I forget it.
I predicted what team was it? It was like that Peacocks team. Is it like
Peacocks.
I forget what they were called? St. Peter's. It was like the
Oh
Peacocks
yeah,
team.
yeah. St. Peter's. You're right. I don't know if that's exactly what
Yeah,
they're called, but I know what you're talking about.
St. Peter's Peacocks.
Kind of
Yeah.
close.
Um. Yeah, something like that. I had them going far. That guy with the mustache. I forget his name, but he was
Guy with the
everywhere. I feel like.
mustache.
Well, he was like that guy with like the handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
What was his name? St. Peter's NCAA mustache guy. Let's see what comes up.
NCAA
Doug
mustache
Eddard.
guy.
Doug Eddard. This guy. Don't know what he's doing today.
Probably nothing. Poor guy.
Is he playing? He's playing still.
Oh, he's hooping.
He's a senior, but he was a senior last year, so I'm confused.
Where's the super senior?
He's not even on St. Peter's anymore.
Oh,
He's
damn.
on Bryant. Bryant. Um, he's also 23. He's gonna be 24. Man's just still hooping. Man's just gonna get a degree and be an accountant, bro.
For real. He don't care about the league. He just won his bag.
He ain't making the league. He's just trying to get that, he's just trying to get the girls
He
from
just
being
needs
on the
it.
team
He
and
just
then
needs
be an
that.
accountant.
He just needs that scholarship.
Yeah, honestly. Um, yeah, so that's all for this episode of the Hoopers Lab podcast. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you leave 5 stars if you're on Spotify and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Like, comment, all that stuff. Get that interaction up. Whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah. And we'll see you in the next one. So take care and goodbye.
Adios.